Good evening, and welcome to the CCMFans Report. I'm Martha Ficial, and we begin tonight with the A-League Women, where the Mariners fell to Melbourne Victory by a single goal. 1-0 at the home of the Matildas. The first half was busy but indecisive. Sarah Langman was called on early, making important saves from Janchevsky and Lowe as Victory pushed down the left and through the middle. The Mariners had moments of their own, shots from Dos Santos and Coco Di Scipio, and a long-range strike from Prakash that forced Newbon into action. But the final touch never quite arrived. The breakthrough came in the 55th minute, when Rihanna Polisina found space on the right and guided a low shot into the centre of the net. After that, the Mariners improved. Gomez, Rasmussen, Levin, Martin and Fuller all came on, and with them came clearer movement and better structure. Rasmussen fired wide. Levin had a late effort blocked, and Martin delivered the cross that came closest to rescuing a point. But Victory managed the final minutes, and the Mariners couldn't quite find the equaliser. All of this played out in one of the more unusual grounds in the league: grassy hills, tall trees, and one very large concrete wall that looked suspiciously like a leftover prop from World War Z. Nothing says elite training facility quite like a structure that appears ready to defend against zombies. For the view from just beneath the battlements, here's Martha.
Well, yes, it is picturesque, if you ignore the wall looming over the pitch like it's checking whether anyone looks edible. And that scoreboard. The numbers are so huge, I'm fairly sure the space station saw the 1-0 before the commentators did, somewhere up there. Someone must have gone, "Oh, unlucky Mariners." Then there's the toilet block at one end, practically on the byline. I swear some of the victory chanting was coming from inside the cubicles. Nothing builds atmosphere quite like a drum beat and a flush at the same time. But on to the football. It felt like we were always half a step out of rhythm. Not terrible, just off. You could see it early, and you could see the shift the moment Gomez and Rasmussen came on. Passes sharper, movement cleaner. Suddenly we looked like ourselves again. And naturally, the fans had a few things to say. Baumann had a couple of shaky moments, Coco Di Scipio looked a bit off the pace, and nearly everyone agreed Gomez and Rasmussen should be starting nothing nasty, just honest reflection. And that late cross from Martin absolutely should have created something. You could feel the collective groan through the screen. It wasn't a disastrous performance, just one that didn't quite land. The effort was there, the polish wasn't. And you can fix that once the right players are fit and starting together.
And now, for the first time on the CCMFans Report, we have a guest joining us for a proper conversation. This is Gary from Marketing, here to help us make sense of a few things happening around the club. Gary, welcome.
Thanks, Arthur. And just to clarify, I don't just do marketing. I'm an independent sports business consultant specializing in fan engagement ecosystems, and it's great to be here.
Right. Gary from Marketing. Let's start with ownership. From your perspective, what do you think is happening with the club's ownership situation at the moment?
Great question. What we're seeing is a period of strategic quietness. It's a leadership choice designed to create space for long-term alignment. My understanding is that Mike continues to look for investment, which is a very positive signal, and the silence is part of that journey.
So the quiet is intentional?
Absolutely. It's a form of engagement through non-communication, very modern.
Well, it certainly feels modern. It's the quietest communication strategy I've ever experienced.
Exactly, an innovation at work.
The club has now released the 3 and 6 game memberships, 5 rounds into the season. Gary, why wouldn't they make those available before the season even kicked off?
Great question. What I'm seeing is a delayed choice engagement model. My understanding is that the club wanted supporters to solidify their full season identity before activating flexible attendance pathways. It's all about strengthening commitment before flexibility appears.
Or they just give up and don't bother, Gary. Loyalty only stretches so far.
Precisely. Anticipation increases value. That's engagement theory 101.
Members received new merchandise this season, the tote bag and hat in white, rather than the usual yellow or navy. What's the thinking behind that colour choice?
Love this one. White offers neutral tone brand harmonization. It represents clarity, openness, and brightness in the fan journey. It also showcases real-world experiences beautifully. Marks, scuffs, fingerprints, all of it tells a story fans become walking narratives.
Well, Gary, it looks good, but it doesn't exactly scream Mariners. If you didn't tell me it was Mariners merch, I'd assume it came from a lifestyle shop in Terrigal.
Exactly. High visibility engagement. Very powerful.
Final one. Why do you think the club might have chosen not to run buses for the Sydney away match?
Great question, Arthur. What we're seeing is a move toward decentralized supporter mobility. Instead of traditional buses, the club empowers fans to craft their own travel narratives: trains, cars, ride shares, scooters, personal movement journeys,
The trains weren't running.
which creates even more room for innovation. That's a mobility opportunity zone.
And for Western Sydney next week? Any chance of a bus there?
My understanding is that the club may be exploring some potential transport activation opportunities once the right pathways and resources align.
Which means...
We'll see.
Right. Thank you, Gary. You may go now.
Always happy to contribute. I think what we're seeing...
Looking at the tables, the Mariners men remain 5th, and the women sit 8th after the weekend's results. Looking ahead, the men travel to Western Sydney on Saturday the 22nd, with kick-off at 5 p.m. at CommBank Stadium. The women head to Sydney on Sunday the 23rd, a 4 p.m. start at Leichhardt Oval. Until next time, this has been the CCM Fans Report.